First off, we the real Hebrew Israelites coming week in and week out to prophesy the downfall of America, aka Babylon the Great. But first off, we like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to those apostles and elders from Great Millstone who teach and rule well. A lot of respect to you brothers out there on the highways and byways, preaching this truth around the four corners of the earth. And salutations to the hopeful elect that you guys may be sealed soon. And like I said before, we the brothers from GMS Chicago coming with a Sunday class. And we're going to get right into it. It's like, hey, you got a lot of these fools sitting up here coming up with a lot of bullshit talking about, a lot of these clowns coming in with all sorts of madness and saying that Moses, wasn't in the truth. He got kicked out the truth. And all of this is bullshit, man. So we're about to sit up here and come with a few precepts. We hope this is an edifying lesson. And the brothers want to start on off.
Yeah, we'll grab this Numbers 12. It's Numbers 12 and verse 1. And Miriam and Aaron spake against Moses because of the Ethiopian woman whom he had married, for he had married an Ethiopian woman. And they said, Have the Lord indeed spoken only by Moses? Have he not spoken also by us? And the Lord have heard it. So they were coming against Moses. Okay, this verse 3. Now the man Moses was very meek above all the men which are upon the face of the earth. So Moses was the most meek, the most humble. Scripture say the meek shall inherit the earth. You got that, brother?
Matthew 5:5. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth.
The Lord loves that spirit of humility. That he deals with that spirit, man. And Moses, it said he was the most meek. Speaking against Moses, speaking against the Lord's prophets in general. All right, but there's a track record. Those who speak against Moses, the Most High come out and get them, man, himself. I'm about to read this account with Miriam and Aaron, but what about the sons of Korah? How the Lord opened up the ground and swallowed them
all in.
And so if the Lord ain't dealing with Moses, why did that happen?
Dang.
It says, verse 4, and the Lord spake suddenly unto Moses and unto Aaron and unto Miriam, which Miriam means rebellion. Okay, in Hebrew. That's funny. That's actually my sister's name. It says, and unto Aaron and unto Miriam, come out ye three unto the tabernacle of the congregation. And they three came out. And the Lord came down in a pillar of the cloud and stood in the door of the tabernacle and called Aaron and Miriam, and they both came forth. So the Lord pulled up on them directly for talking about his man's Moses, man. Okay, it says verse 6, and he said, Hear now my words, if there be a prophet among you, I, the Lord, make myself known unto him in a vision, and will speak unto him in a dream. My servant Moses is not so, who was faithful in all my house. Hey, you want to say something?
No, I got a scripture for you, but I'm gonna let you go ahead and read that one.
Because ultimately, the Lord, like he said, he speaks to prophets in dreams, visions. But Moses, he was directly there, man, for Moses.
I got it. Yeah, this Amos chapter 3 in verse 7. It says, Surely the Lord thy power will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants, the prophets. And the Lord reveals everything to us. And at that particular time, Moses.
Like the time he came down with that veil, he was giving them secrets, giving them power.
The Lord ain't just doing this for anybody, man. Y'all motherfuckers got to get y'all head out y'all ass, dude. But go ahead. You got it.
It says, my servant Moses is not so, who is faithful in all of my house. Once again, proving he's not. He is a man of the Lord. Okay, it says, with him will I speak mouth to mouth, even apparently, and not in dark speeches. And the similitude of the Lord shall he behold. Wherefore then were ye not afraid to speak against my servant Moses? And the anger of the Lord was kindled against him, and he departed. And the cloud departed from off the tabernacle, and behold, Miriam became leprous, white as snow. And Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous. And Aaron said to Moses, Alas, my Lord, I beseech thee, meaning I beg thee, lay not the sin upon us, wherein we have done foolishly, and wherein we have sinned. Okay, and people how the Lord judged Miriam back.
Yeah.
Amen.
And that just shows you too, women speaking out of turn. The Lord could have easily have judged Miriam and Aaron, but guess who he went at? Miriam. For out of pocket. Woman ain't supposed to be out of pocket like that. You got it.
It says, let her not be as one dead, of whom the flesh is half consumed when he cometh out of his mother's womb. You know, that decayed, that being decayed, man. You know, it says, and Moses cried unto the Lord, saying, heal her now, O Yahweh, I beseech thee. And the Lord said unto Moses, if her father had but spit in her face, she should not be ashamed 7 days. Let her be shut out from the camp 7 days, and after that, let her be received in again. Right. So if you're unclean, the priest gotta excommunicate you for 7 days. You know, you gotta be outside the congregation for 7 days. That's like being suspended.
Yeah,
You
being
know?
suspended.
You gotta be by yourself, and then the priest will come check up on you. And if you're clean, you come back.
With leprosy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you got to understand, Moses was the one that prayed to the Lord and begged the Lord. You know, you think the Lord is just not going to listen to anybody?
That's right.
The Lord is, you're a man of the Lord. Come on. You know, you guys got to come on with this nonsense, man. You know, hey, y'all taking the bag and doing all this other. See, it's taking the bag now, because I ain't really with y'all not knowing what the truth is. Y'all motherfuckers have took the bag because this is just common sense shit.
Right. Hey, put her ass on timeout.
Yeah, exactly.
I had one more.
You got it.
It says, verse 15, and Miriam was shut out from the camp 7 days, and the people journeyed not till Miriam was brought in again. That was it.
I got Daniel chapter 12 and 13. But go thou thy way until the end, be for that thou shalt rest and stand in thy lot, and at the end of the days. So Moses, he's going to be there at the end of days, you know what I'm saying? He's going to stand on his lot. He's a prophet.
Mm-hmm. Which, you know what, I got something for you just to back you up. And this is 1 Corinthians chapter 14 and verse 32. It says, and the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophet.
Man.
And that's plain and simple. Hey, if you're a prophet in the past, you're a prophet now, man. Your spirit is what it is. You know, you got brothers waking up all over the world, man. And look, how could you get a group of brothers all over the world waking up and speaking the same thing? I'm talking about in different countries. You know, that's just the Lord's spirit out there. It's who we were, you know, and now we all of a sudden, now we waking up to who we were, you know. So, hey, when your spirit, if that's your spirit, that's your spirit. You can't get around it. You got a spirit of a murderer. That's what you are. Your whole spirit, that's what you are. You come back in your same life, no matter what you are, no matter what you were. It's the same thing over and over.
I got Ephesians 1 and 4. According as he has chosen us in him before the foundation of the world, that he should be holy and without blame before him and love us, you know.
You gotta read that one more time.
There's Ephesians 1 and 4. It's according as he has chosen us in him before the foundation of the world, that he should be holy and without blame before him in love.
Hey, the Lord, hey, we without blame in the Lord's eyes, man. If you part of the elect, you without blame. What you thought Moses was? Hey, Moses was a man of the Lord, period. Moses was the only man that happened to see the Lord's backside. Moses was he was the lawgiver. How in the hell can you sit up here and say that he ain't a man of the Lord? You know, I got, you know, we sit up here bringing out some of the feats of Moses. I got nothing. Did you have some of y'all have anything?
I got the Jeremiah.
You know,
You bring out yourself.
Yeah, this is number 20. This is Numbers 20. I'm going to start at 7. The point is a little further down, around 12 or 13, but I'm going to start at 7. And it says, and Lord spake unto Moses, saying, take the rod and gather thou the assembly together, thou and Aaron, thou and Aaron thy brother, and speak ye unto the rock before their eyes, and it shall give forth his water. And thou shalt bring forth to them water out of the rock. So thou shalt give the congregation and their beasts drink. And Moses took the rod from before the Lord as he commanded. And Moses and Aaron gathered the congregation together before the rock. And he said unto them, hear now, ye rebels, must we fetch you water out of this rock? And Moses lifted up his hand, and with his rod he smote the rock twice. And the water came out abundantly, and the congregation drank, and their beasts also. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron, because ye believe me not, to sanctify me in the eyes of the children of Israel. Therefore ye shall not bring this congregation into the land which I have given them. Now, A lot of these guys are used this to send up his hand that the Lord kicked Moses out. No, Moses disobeyed. That's the whole point, you know. And people you got to get. Hey, the Lord didn't sit up here and get rid of. The Lord told Moses, "Hey, look, you're not going to see the land, you know, because you didn't put faith in me. You did it yourself.
Right.
You did it on your own."
Hey, they act like other prophets wasn't punished as well. You know, look at David.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
You
look
know,
at Solomon as Yahweh shot.
and that's the thing. Yahweh is Adam. You know, and the Lord have mercies, man. You know, and we blessed that he does. Point blank, period. If he didn't have mercies, man, well, we'd be through.
I got a quick one for you.
You got it.
It's Romans 9:15. For he saith to Moses, again, brought up again, it says, I will have mercy on whom I have mercy. I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. So then it is not of him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but of Yahweh that showeth mercy.
And that's Romans.
Mm-hmm.
And that's in the New Testament. And just like the brother was bringing out, Moses still mentioned in the New Testament, you know, mercy on whom I have mercy upon. Why would he say this to Moses if Moses wasn't in the truth? If Moses wasn't one of his? Come on, man. You got it. You had something else?
Jeremiah 15:1. Then said the Lord, Yahweh Shai unto me, though Moses and Samuel stood before me, yet my mind cannot be toward these people. Cast them out my sight and let them go forth. So if Moses was a fallout, why is it that Moses is being mentioned even later in Jeremiah as somebody that could mediate, somebody that could try to defend Yasharallah and beg the Lord for mercy on behalf? That's a question.
You know, facts, man. You know, the men of the Lord, all us messed up. All us fucked up in some capacity. You know, King David was out of pocket for what he did with Bathsheba. You know, Moses striking a rock, you know, when the Lord told him to do something else. Even the prophet that sit up here and he was supposed to go one way and he came back and went a different way and the lion ate him.
Yeah.
You don't think that man is still a man of the Lord? No. The Lord will give you a harsh punishment. Point blank, period. You will receive a harsh punishment. You know?
When Moses went against the Egyptians,
and I got
his staff and stuff like that.
And I got the other one you wanted. Yeah, I was holding the other one that he won with the veil.
I'll get that, yeah.
Yeah, this is Ezekiel 34. My fault. This Exodus 34 and 7. I mean, Exodus 34 and 27. I'm going to start at 27. And the Lord said unto Moses, write thou these words, for after the tenor of these words, I have made a covenant with thee and with Israel. And the Lord made a covenant with Moses and Israel. And he was there with the Lord 40 days and 40 nights. He did eat bread nor drink. He did neither eat bread nor drink water. And he wrote upon the tables the words of the covenant, the 10 commandments. And it came to pass when Moses came down from Mount Sinai with the 2 tables of testimony in Moses' hand, when he came down from the mount, that Moses wished not that the skin of his face shone while he talked with him. That means his face was shining. And when Aaron and all the children of Israel saw Moses, behold, the skin of his face shined, and they were afraid to come nigh him. And Moses called unto them, and Aaron, all the rulers of them, congregation, returned unto him, and Moses talked with them. And afterward, all the children of Israel came nigh, and he gave them in commandment all the Lord had spoken with him in Mount Sinai. Until Moses had done speaking with them, he put a veil on his face. So that was to keep them the light from shining on them. They were afraid. You know, that's spiritual power. You know.
Yeah, it's Exodus 7 and verse 9. It says, when Pharaoh shall speak unto you, saying, show a miracle for you, then thou shalt say unto Aaron, take thy rod and cast it before Pharaoh, and it shall become a serpent. And Moses and Aaron went into Pharaoh, and they did as the Lord had commanded. And Aaron cast down his rod before Pharaoh and before his servants, and it became a serpent. Then Pharaoh also called the wise men and the sorcerers. Now the magicians of Egypt, they also did a like manner with their enchantments. For they cast down every man his rod and became serpents, but Aaron's rod swallowed up their rods. Showing you that power. The Lord on the right hand side overcame the left hand side. Because the Lord was humbling down Pharaoh in Egypt. That was the process of it. That wasn't the final miracle. But the Lord was showing His power through Moses and Aaron. You was holding one, Dawad?
I had one other one.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's Ezekiel. I keep saying Ezekiel. Exodus.
Okay.
Give me one more. This Exodus, chapter 33. I think it's verse 11. This is Exodus 33 and 11. Oh, I wish we'd have just started off with this one. It says, I'm just going to go straight to the point. This is Exodus 33 and 11. And the Lord spake unto Moses face to face, as a man speaking unto his friend. And he turned again into the camp, but his servant Joshua, the son of Nun, a young man, departed not out of the tabernacle. Wait, hold on. This is Exodus 33 and 11. Let's get back to that first part. It says, and the Lord spake unto Moses face to face, as a man speaking unto his friend. So how you going to, come on, man. All the scriptures in the world, and you sit up here talking about Moses ain't in the truth, or Moses was kicked out of the truth. No, Moses was punished for what he did with the rock. Just like we all get punished. We all get punished now, but we have faith and hope where others don't. Moses was a humble man. He had a lot of humility. He was meek, and the Lord loved him. And he said, speak face to face, as a man speaking to a friend. Why is that in there? That's what the Lord thought him as. Y'all got it. My fault.
No, you got it, bro. Because these niggas are foolish, man. At the end of the day, this is John 15 and we start at 15. We'll start at verse 14. It says, "Ye are my friends if you do whatsoever I command you. Henceforth I call you not servants, for the servant knoweth not what his Lord doeth, but I have called you friends. For all things that I have heard of my Father I have made known to you." So Yahushua called us his friends, man. And you come up against the prophets, man. There's big consequences against that.
Hey, y'all mind if I read what the brother said?
Ahead,
now he came underneath. I'm going to read the same thing I read before and put the other one. This is from at Jonathan 4796. Exodus 33 and 11, which I read. I'm going to read it again. And the Lord spake unto Moses face to face, as a man speaking unto his friend, and he turned again into the camp. But his servant Joshua, the son of Nun, a young man, departed not out of it. Now this Exodus 32, 33 and 12. And Moses said unto the Lord, see, thou sayest unto me, bring up this people, and thou hast not let me know whom thou wilt send with me. Yet thou hast said, I know thee by name, and thou hast also found grace in my sight. He said, he found grace in the Lord's sight, man. Hey, you can't get around this. You can't get around this. The Lord is a man that he shall not lie. That's first and foremost. So if the Lord said he's speaking to him as he's speaking to a friend, the Lord said, you found grace in my sight. I found grace in your sight. That doesn't change.
Well, the word's purified 7 times.
I got one. It's Joshua 22 and verse 5. It says, but take diligent heed to do the commandment and the law, which Moses, the servant of Yahweh, charged you, to love Yahweh your power, and to walk in all his ways, and to keep his commandments, and to cleave unto him, and to serve him with all your heart and with all your soul.
They say Moses, he's a servant of Yahweh. You know what I'm saying? He's out there feeding the flock to the elect and the 1/3.
That's right. Proving how he's a servant of the Lord.
And what did he say? Y'all just got it. He said, hey, I call you not servants, I call you friends if you do what I do. do what I say. The Lord was doing what Yahweh was saying. Point blank, period. He was doing it. Yeah, Moses, my fault. Moses was doing what Yahweh was, what he was told to do. You was the lawgiver. He was sitting there. He went down there. And this was his job. This was what he was supposed to do. Just like we have a job, you know, and we still have a job to do. It's not over yet, you know.
The other one, this 1 Kings 2 and 3. And keep the charge of the Lord Yahweh thy power, to walk in his ways, to keep his statutes and his commandments and his judgments and his testimonies as it is written in the law of Moses, that thou mayest prosper in all that thou doest, and whithersoever thou turnest thyself.
That's it. The law of Moses. Why would it be called the law of Moses? If he wasn't in the truth, why would the Lord even acknowledge him?
Wow.
And also here in this Hebrew 11, Moses was given a shout out, you know, as a proper example. It says Hebrew 11 because the whole Hebrew 11 is going into faith. Okay, this is Hebrews 11:23. By faith, Moses, when he was born, was hid 3 months of his parents because they saw he was a proper child, and they were not afraid of the king's commandment. By faith, Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of Yahweh than to enjoy the pleasure of sin for a season. Hey, that's an honorable man right there. Okay, the man had everything at that time, more riches than we can ever imagine right now, even today. You know, that man, he had power, man. He had riches. You know, could get whatever he wanted, but he chose to dwell with his people, to suffer his people, and to be and humble down to the Lord, you know, and be chosen as a vessel to deliver his people out of Egypt, man. You know, hey, that's just like Eleazar, the priest. You know, that honorable act that he did, you know, not eating that swine flesh. Okay, even when they tried to make him eat, you know, something lawful, but pretending to be swine, he knew that he had influence in Israel, and he would cause the young men to sin. You know, he knew he couldn't escape the judgment of Yahweh Shem Shah. That's honorable, man. You know, but I'm gonna keep reading. It says, esteeming the reproach of Mashiach greater riches than the treasures in Egypt, for he had respect unto the recompense of the reward. Hey, so Moses had his mind right, man. You know, he knew Egypt was gonna perish, just like we know America's gonna perish. Okay, it says, by faith he forsook Egypt, meaning to forget. Okay, it says, not fearing the wrath of the king, for he endured as seeing him who was invisible, which is Yahweh Shem Shah. He had faith. All right, he had faith and fear of the Lord. Okay, it says, through faith he kept the Passover and the sprinkling of blood, lest he that destroyed the firstborn should touch them. By faith they passed through the Red Sea as by dry land, which the Egyptians assailed to do or drown. By faith, that was the point. Okay, Moses was a faithful servant of Yahweh Shem Shah. It's going to say in Hebrews 11, and you read up to verse 6, it says, by faith, but without faith it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to Yahweh must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. Hey, the Lord is dealing with those that have faith. Okay, the Lord ain't dealing with nobody unfaithful. Moses showed and displayed his faith. He trusted in Yahweh Shem Shah. You know, so to say he's not a man of the Lord, that's completely foolish. You know?
There are too many things that Moses done when you go into Exodus, Numbers, that just showed the Lord was dealing with him on a very high level, on one of the highest levels, you know. And being a lawgiver, you know, you just when you're not gonna sit up here and somebody that's kicked out the truth is not gonna get that type of title. Somebody that's just kicked out the truth probably won't even get mentioned again in the Bible. You know.
I think it's mentioned in Moses in 15. There's a song of Moses, the servant of Yahweh. Revelation 15, and start up a little bit for context. Verse 2, and I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten a victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name, and stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of Yahweh, and they sing the song of Moses, the servant of Yahweh.
So like that verse 2, that's the elect in that upper atmosphere in the chariots watching
the fire, the making the glass, watching the reflection of the fire.
That.
Matter of fact, yep, right here.
So why they singing the song of Moses? It says the song of Moses, the servant of Yahweh, and the song of the Lamb, saying, "Great and marvelous are thy works, Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Al-Shai Almighty. Just and true are thy ways, thou King of saints."
Swing low, swing chariots.
And then it says a servant of Yahweh. And that goes right back into that Amos 3 and 7. Hey, the Lord thy power do nothing, but he showeth secrets to his servants, the prophets. In Revelations, the revealing, it said in Revelations mean to reveal. It's saying that he's still a servant. Man, y'all out of y'all mind. You know what I mean? It's saying that he's still a servant. Y'all ain't, man, look, the Lord just going to destroy a lot of you motherfuckers, man. Hey, the Lord already just sit up here and put some of y'all to death. He going to put quite a few of y'all, man. If y'all don't come out of these fucked up ass camps, these false ass fake Israelite camps, he's going to destroy a lot of y'all, man. Have common sense and read, man.
They got one burning bush.
You know?
Who's getting on Moses with the burning bush?
He got now seen the picture, looking for it myself. Also like it.
It's Exodus 3.
Yeah.
Exodus 3 and verse 2. And the angel of the Lord Yahweh appeared unto him in the flame of fire out the midst of a bush. And he looked, and behold, the bush burned with fire, and the bush was not consumed. And Moses said, I will now turn aside and see this great sight, why the bush is not burnt. And when the Lord Yahweh saw that he turned aside to see, Yahweh called unto him out of the midst of the bush and said, Moses, Moses. And he said, Here I am. Here am I. And he said, Draw not nigh hither, put off thy shoes from thy feet, for the place wherein thou standest is holy ground. Moreover, he said, I am the God of thy father, the God of Abraham, the power of Isaac, the God of Jacob. And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look upon the Most High. And the Lord Yahweh said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people which are in Egypt, and have heard their cry by reason of their taskmasters, for I know their sorrows. I am come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians, to bring them up out of the land unto a good land and large, a land flowing with milk and honey, unto the place of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites. Now therefore, behold, the cry of the children of Yasharallah has come up unto me. I have also seen the oppression wherewith the Egyptians oppressed them. Come now, therefore, I will send thee unto Pharaoh, that thou mayest bring forth my people, the children of Yasharallah, out of Egypt.
That's the point. The Lord used Moses as a deliverer for his people in that land. You know, just how you read Judges, the book of Judges, Israel will go off. All right, they'll get sent into captivity. They'll repent. The Lord raise up a judge. All right, this is an example of the Lord raising up a judge. It's talking about Moses. You know, yeah, it's definitely more to it. But the point was made. You know, but hey, the Lord uses Moses to deliver them out of that time. So for you to say that the Lord ain't dealing with them, that makes zero sense. All right, these the same guys that were saying, if you ain't in ISUBK smoking weed, you know, what are you doing with your life? These the same people that saying we serve a nigga God. You know, that you would do it with your woman in a butt, man. This is what ISUBK is saying. But yeah, you're going to take these guys' opinion serious, man. You know, you got it, bro.
Verse 11, and Moses said unto Yahweh, Who am I that I should go unto Pharaoh, and I should bring forth the children of Yasharallah out of Egypt? Still in like a spirit of like humility. That Moses is like, who am I? Who am I? Like, you know.
Yeah.
And he said, certainly I will be with thee, And this shall be a token unto thee that I have sent thee. When thou hast brought forth the people out of Egypt, ye shall serve Yahweh upon this mountain. And Moses said unto Yahweh, Behold, when I come unto thee, the children of Yasharallah, and shall say unto them, the God of your fathers has sent me unto you. They shall say unto me, what is his name? What shall I say unto them? And Yahweh said unto Moses, I am that I am. He said, thus shalt thou say to the children of Israel, I am have sent me unto you. And Yahweh said moreover to Moses, thus said, thou shalt say to the children of Yasharallah, the Lord Yahweh, God of your fathers, God of Abraham, God of Isaac, power of Jacob, has sent me unto you. This is my name forever, and this shall be my memorial unto all generations. Go gather the elders of Israel together and say unto them, the Lord Yahweh, your power of your fathers, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, appeared unto me, saying, surely I have visited to you and seen that which is done unto you in Egypt. And I have said, I will bring you up out of the affliction of Egypt and the land of, unto the land of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites, unto the land flowing with milk and honey. And they shall hearken unto thy voice, and thou shalt come, and thou and the elders of Israel, unto the king of Egypt. And you shall say unto him, the Lord Yahweh of the Hebrews have met with us. Now let us go, we beseech thee, 3 days' journey into the wilderness, that we may sacrifice to the Lord Yahweh our power. So yeah, the Most High was telling Moses straight up, like, this how you go through this, and this the breakdown. God, the elders take them with you, do this, do that, and he's giving them the instructions of how to talk to Pharaoh, of how to speak to the king of Egypt, how to go about the mission that the Most High is sending them on.
And, you know, and just to get back to what the brother was saying, Moses had a real meek and humble personality. And when you look at anything that he said, he had a real meek and humble personality. And that's one of the things I think, and I'm going to put up that Matthew 5:5 again, just for this Matthew 5:5. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. And Moses' spirit was of a really meek and humble and had a lot of humility to him, you know. And that's one of the things that the Lord loves, a meek and humble spirit, you know. Someone who quiet and listen and obey and not, you know, and sit up here, you know, have that spirit of, hey, you know what, why me? You know, I'm not this great man. I'm not nothing. And that's a good spirit to be in. You know?
Not prideful,
Yeah,
self-exalted, and lifting yourself up in your own spirit and making something of your own self, calling yourself general, calling yourself something instead of it being given unto you. Instead of you being lifted up by the Lord, you lifting yourself up. That's the exact opposite of meek, humility, and humble. It's pride. Which pride is one of the greatest things the Lord hates.
Then we're having the Pharaoh. You know, Pharaoh got his heart hard and stuff like that. You know, got humiliated.
Right. And ultimately, the Lord used Moses to deliver us out of Egypt, man. You know. And also, Moses, his spiritual son was Joshua.
Okay.
You know, that was his spiritual son, man. Just like Timothy was Paul's spiritual son. Okay. He built up Joshua in the spirit, and the Lord used Joshua next to lead Israel to the promised land. All right. So to say he's not a man of Yahweh Shem Shai, it's just off, man. It's off. That shit's wicked as hell, man. Better drop a precept down there.
Yeah. This is Jonathan 47:96, Isaiah 57:15. For thus saith the Lord, For thus saith the high and lofty one, that inhabited eternity, whose name is holy. I dwell in high and holy place, with him also that is of a contrite and humble spirit, to revive the spirit of the humble, and to revive the heart of the contrite ones. And and he's just going into what? Humility, humble, being contrite, man. And that's a spirit that the Lord loves, man, for a man to be in. An Israelite man. Let's just put that point to the fact too. You know, Israelite man having a humble spirit, a contrite spirit. I always hear brothers not wanting, like when a brother become a bishop, some brothers be like, it's not something I wanted, but it's just something that the Lord blessed you with, or you becoming a teacher or something. Brothers don't sit up here and go, man, I should be this and that. But when you get blessed with that, with those, when you get blessed with that, I would say title, it wasn't something that you did. It was something that other men and the Lord blessed you with. Let's say the Lord blessed you, and then other men seen in you through the power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. And that's one of the things that Moses didn't, this wasn't something Moses asked for. Moses was selfless when he stood up here and beat up the Egyptians, killed the Egyptian guys. Selfless man. Are there anything else?
No, that's all I had.
Got something to
What do you think what Calvin say? You appreciate some time?
No, that last one was the other guy, Jonathan at 57 and 15. He had some other ones up here, but those are all the ones we just went through.
Oh,
I mean, they were putting the same ones we was going through on here. So
great minds think alike.
Yeah.
I guess we're done then.
Proverbs,
Okay.
Proverbs 16 and 18. Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Better it is to be of a humble spirit with the lowly than to divide the spoil with the proud. And the thing about having a humble spirit and having humility is that you can see things better. Whereas someone who's prideful is quick to overlook things. They're not really, prudent to look at the small things, because in their mind they're too big to handle the small things, and then they'll be too small to handle the big things. The humble and the lowly is spiritually more keen.
And not just that, a humble person will listen.
A
humble person is a type to listen and to hear everything. They quiet and they'll listen and absorb. While a person that's prideful think they know everything, just like the brother was saying. That you ain't gonna listen to nothing because you think you know everything. And that way that pride goes before. And even in the scripture it said, if you come to me as these children, when the Lord said, if you come to me like this little child, what is that saying? Children will listen. Children will listen, and they come with that humility. They come with a childlike mind, so they'll listen to you compared to you coming as an adult who don't want to listen at all. That's why I say renew your mind. You got to renew your mind when you come into this truth. That means you got to come in a humble spirit, a lowly spirit, to be receptive of what's being told you.
That's what Moses did. He received the instruction of the Lord in many ways. And this is how we got the law of Moses. Moses was getting the download from the Lord. So I mean, it all just go back and say the same thing again, man. Moses did not fall out the truth.
Point blank period.
This is a story about the pillar of fire with Moses was there. The pillar of fire. The pillar of fire was a UFO.
Cloud by day, pillar of fire by night. I'm in it. I'm trying to see where.
We'll go something like this.
I don't know if that's going to be like that.
Could be it. Let's get first.
Exodus 13 and 19. And Moses took the bones of Joseph with him, for he had straitly sworn to the children of Israel, saying, Yahweh will surely visit you, and ye shall carry up my bones away hence with you. And they took their journey from Sukkot and encamped in Etham at the edge of the wilderness. And the Lord Yahweh went before them by day in a pillar of the cloud to lead them the way, and by night a pillar of fire to give them light.
That was a UFO, you know what I'm saying? UFO sighting, you know what I'm saying? The pillar of fire was help guide them throughout their journey.
He took not away the pillar of the cloud by day, nor the pillar of fire by night from before the people.
Right. And how Shai was protecting them.
Yeah.
You know?
It was also it was like cooling as far as temperature wise, because the cloud could provide shade in the daytime. It's hot.
Okay.
And the pillar of fire can provide heat in the nighttime because it get cold in the night in the desert.
So for the Lord to do that for a man that ain't in the truth, it's a big waste of time, wouldn't it? Come on, guys. Come on, that'll be a big waste of time, wouldn't it? You know, I mean, would you do anything for anybody that you don't give a damn about? No. The Lord was with Moses, man. And Moses is a man of the Lord. You know, talking shit. Crazy.
Is that all we got then?
That was it. That was pretty much. I mean, we did a lot of the feats for Moses. 13, 20. And so with that, hey, we hope this was a edifying lesson. I'd like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to those apostles and elders from Great Millstone who teach and rule well. A lot of respect to you brothers out there on the highways and byways, preaching this truth across the four corners of the earth, and salutations to the hopeful elect that you guys may be sealed soon. And with that, I always say Kwam Yasharella and a Bob Ball. Shalom. And shalom to all you brothers that was on the comment board. Shalom. Hey, how you cut this off? I think I'm a little off here.
And stream.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yes,
I'm all messed up.